Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going over the LEOPARD 2A5, armed with a 120mm Right-and-Haul 120mm L44 gun, not that of the L55 of the 2A6, which we will get to eventually. This thing has a mass of 59 tons, and stock has a 1,000, not 13,000, that'd be amazing. It has a 1,327 horsepower at 2,600 RPMs, which is very, very decent at top tier. Not the best, not the worst, but it's kind of in the mid until you get the upgrade, as this is completely stock, only with that of the M23. So this is going to be a review of the vehicle before it is spaded. I'll make another one once it is spaded. I'm not part of the partner program yet, so I did apply. I don't know if I'll get in or not. I hope I do, because I'd love to be able to get in the partner program with this game in order to make out videos of this, and just add in a lot more things we can do with this channel and this game. So baseline, you have basically a 7.4 second reload. I have a little bit of crew upgrades, so it's a 6.9 second reload. Turret rotation is by far from the best, but better than that of the Soviets. Your gun elevation is -9, which is very, very good. One of the best in game, if not the best. And your top speed is 68 kph, which is about the average of most top tier vehicles. Now, let's get to the modifications, and then we'll get to the armor. So right off the bat, you have the M23 as a Tier 1 round. This is excellent. This allows you to basically, as soon as you get it, grind out that shell, or you can grind out parts and FPE, then grind out that shell, and then grind out adjustment of fire, then suspension, and then you can grind these out. Now, the downside about this vehicle is you have to grind a lot before you can get your main armament of the DM33 round, which does have 481mm of penetration at 0 degrees. So at least you do get access to an armor-piercing, fin-stabilized discarding sabot at a Tier 1, compared to some NBTs that don't get one that's reliable until later. So let's go ahead and get to the armor analysis real quick, and we'll do this with its first DM23 round, which should be about the same penetration as most of your Soviet enemies will be firing, unless they are completely spaded. So let's see. So as you can see, it's not going through your front. Your front is barely strong enough to handle it. Now, I don't know if it can get through at an angle, but I mean, you'd have to be directly above to pretty much go through. Turret cheeks is completely off limits. The breech, it can go through, it can shoot your gun, and it will break your gun, so keep that in mind. As far as on the side, it really can't go through here, which is what makes in my opinion, the Leopards so powerful. A lot of people will try to shoot a shot like that to the side of the tank, but the Leopards, German engineers knew that they needed to make at least the front part of the tank a little bit stronger. And this tank was made back in the early 90s, or mid 70s era. So keep that in mind. 2A6 is made in the 90s. Get them mixed up. So right off the bat right here, you can see that you don't have anything right here. I mean, 50 cals can go. I mean, maybe not 50 cals, but anti-air will go through there. You want to make sure you don't get hit here. Even though you have a blowout panel, you can still get shot there, and it can still kill you if the shell is coming somewhat inwards like that, because it's going to hit your crew, making the blast force go in. Sometimes it'll just detonate no matter what. So keep that in mind. Now let's get to the optics on this vehicle with the armor, or the X-ray. As you can see, you have an optics of 4 times zoom to 12 times, and a side field of view of 18:6. This is fairly good. I would say it is not the greatest, but as far as a top tier NBT, that's probably about all you need. As you can see, it does have the same 2A4 pretty much composite armor. You just have these turret cheeks that basically make it a whole lot harder to penetrate, because it hits something and it has a massive amount of airtime for it hits something else. So it really does weaken these shells. So now let's get to the armor analysis from that of DM33. Now this is going to be your main armament. This is going to take you a long time to get to, and arguably by the time you get to this, you'd probably already have a big dent in the 2A6, which I would recommend just going for it, as it's a new top tier at the game pretty much. So complete hull is completely penetrable. This will penetrate pretty much anything. It won't penetrate through front plates on Soviets that have contact 5 ERA, but it will go through contact 1. If you don't know what ERA is, I'll pop up this picture right here. ERA is basically a type of composite armor that basically explodes, making metal go up into the discarding Sabo, making it have to travel more distance, also damaging the Sabo, maybe breaking it so it can't penetrate, or at least, like Contact 1, will try to explode on it, shift the metal upwards, so it has to penetrate a few, maybe like 20 or 30 more millimeters of steel before it gets in. So this could save your crew's life in a real-life scenario, mainly used by that of the Russian Federation. There's a little bit faster acceleration, faster repair. Pretty much everything's a little bit less realistic. I don't have another paint for that. Honestly, I wish I had a desert paint because this thing is going to stick out. As you can see, the turret traverse is a lot faster, and the power. That's one reason why I play arcade, is because it's just a little bit more friendly to stock players, as far as there's not quite as big a difference between a spaded vehicle and a unspaded vehicle. If you don't know what spaded means, in case you're new, most people know what this means. Spaded basically means the vehicle's been fully researched, like you have everything in the vehicle, all the modules researched. This basically means the tank is fully upgraded, meaning that it's ready for combat, as not that the unspaded vehicles aren't, it's that they don't have the capabilities of that of a spaded vehicle. They don't have the ammunition, they don't have the track upgrades, and stuff like that kind of hold them back in a little bit. Not enough to really make a big difference on the battlefield, but if it's 1v1 and one has upgrades and one doesn't, most likely the one that has upgrades is going to come on top due to having a better gun upgrade and better elevation and stuff like that. It really can make a difference on different terrain. So at this point, I only have one spawn. I actually have a backup. I think I could have respawned the realistic if I killed someone, but I think I only have one backup. I like the new changes they've done. Excuse me, voice crack. I like the new changes they've done. They've made the diesels not sound just like a diesel engine. They kind of add like a little turbocharged sound, which I really do like. Good night. Or never mind. I did get your gunner or someone. I don't know who I got, but I need to be careful. I want to shoot your gun because I don't want to take, because I think someone's over there, 2A5, which is someone I don't want to mess with right off the bat. While his gun's repairing, make sure this guy doesn't get me. Just shoot his ammo. He doesn't have ammo, okay. Well, this guy's repairing. Oh, this guy got me. Alright, back it up, retreat to the fort. We're dead. I should have backed it better. My gun's still alive though. So, okay, there's a T-80. Okay. I don't have my track. He's using heat. I see a lot of people that, actually this is realistic. I don't really used to play realistic that much. Kind of weird. Anyway, I don't play realistic that much. I did play it quite a bit a while ago. But anyway, let's go ahead and try it on out. The downside about realistic is you don't have a crosshair, but again, you know, it's more skilled. It's a lot more rewarding too. So let's go ahead and get in here into a battle, and let's see if we can go. So right off the bat, realistic, you're going to have a little bit less weight horsepower to ton ratio than you will in that arcade. But the good thing about being in realistic is, in my opinion, it pays more. Yeah, I'm pretty much like you do. With a only I got is an APFS DS round, so keep that in mind. So if we don't do good on this, we'll go into an arcade. I mean, like normal, I kind of want to do a review of it in realistic and arcade, so you can kind of see how it performs. Because I see a lot of YouTubers who just do one or the other, and I know there's players who, you know, they play arcade, they play a variety of different things. So I wanted to put out a review of this in realistic and this in arcade. So realistic, if you're new to War Thunder, realistic is basically, it's a lot more, like the armor and everything is really realistic, meaning that like the protection analysis is 100% correct. As in arcade battles, ricochets are a little bit higher chanced, and as well as the armor on the vehicles, as far as shells going in, sabos will do a lot more damage on impact, generally damaging more of the tank, and also repair times are a lot longer, it seems like, so keep that in mind. So I've played a lot of realistic, but not in a long time. I haven't played realistic in probably close to 6 months, so wish me well here. I mainly play arcade just because, not really because I didn't like realistic, but I mainly play arcade now due to it being a lot faster to get in the game, and the games are a lot faster, therefore I made a lot more research on them. But that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. So the thing about realistic, which is good, is people don't just exactly know where you're at. They can't just come around the corner and shoot you. You know, everything's unknown. You kind of have to understand where people are at, which is the good part about it. I don't want to talk the whole entire time because I know that gets really annoying, so I'm going to be quiet here. We're going to try to get some gameplay in, and yeah. Hopefully the screen recorder is recording okay-ish. Okay, we just got nailed by a, what is that? Okay, he got his gun. He's not going to shoot me for a minute. I hate doing that to people. I really think it's a low skill move, but I don't want to die this early in game, so I'm sorry, buddy. I had to do it. My gun's still offline. He's going to have to repair, so my gun should be back online before he repairs his gun. If it isn't, I would be very mad. Okay, so we did put him on fire. Okay, now his gun's repaired. We need to shoot that gun again. Okay, we got his breach, so he's not going to be shooting for a minute. Like you can see, the repair times are a lot higher, but again, it's a lot more rewarding. I don't have another vehicle in my lineup, I don't believe, so once we're dead here, we'll be going to another battle, which obviously we're going to be doing anyway. So, I thought I saw someone right there going to sneak and shoot that 2A6. Okay, I don't see him. I don't have thermals. I wish thermals, if you don't have them, arcade's not such a big deal, but in realistic battles, they make all the difference as far as you can see things moving a lot easier. If you know what that battery is, I honestly don't know. I think that stands for an autoloader, but this tank doesn't have one, so, or it may just be for the engine. I don't know. I think that's, I know it goes for something. I bet it's for thermals. Okay, there we go. A bit of lag. Oh no, we're dead. Well, there we go, guys. That was a short battle in realistic. What the heck? Did you see that? Invisible tank? Guys, invisible tank. You see that? Look at my tracks. Okay, I can tell that the hot tracks update definitely glitched a little bit. Blew my cheeks off. Alright, well that didn't do too well. Alright guys, welcome back to Arcade. I don't know what map we're in. Okay, here we are, we're in Tunisia. So we're in another desert biome map. Again in Arcade, I like this one a little bit more, it's more open space. Again, we're going to A5, 2A6, there we go. Got 2A6 on the team, that's a good thing. For us, not for the enemy. The downside about, well I didn't say this, the downside about playing against, let's say, you know, or in Arcade is you play against every nation. As in realistic, you like Germans are on the team versus all, like we'll say like Americans and Germans versus everyone else, or vice versa, you know. Therefore, you know, you don't have to worry about looking for German enemy vehicles, if that makes sense. So therefore, you know, you can kind of cut a big chunk out. That's not a good thing. You blow my ammo out right before the battle. That's not a good idea. Or not a good thing either. It's not a good thing because I don't have any ammo now. I don't know. I'm going to have to go to a cap point whenever we cap a point to get ammo. You little piece of trash. Camping spawn. That's not a good idea, bro. Anyway. Trying to think here. Let's go. I think we can cap. We're going to head over here. I got one shell. I mean, I got enough to kill someone, obviously, but no. I think I'm going to head for. I think I'm just going to go for A. I think I'd actually have a respawn. So if I do, okay. Well, apparently you're going to just sit there and camp. You'd think that Gadget, as far as, I mean, I guess it's, I mean, once you drop out of spawn, you're technically in game, but you think Gadget would implement something as far as, you know, 30 seconds from the beginning of the game, no one can die or something, so people can at least get out into the battlefield. I know how frustrating that is being a mouse, and then all of a sudden heat FS round. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a heat round kind of penetrates in your armor, then it explodes, causing a massive vibration that causes metal to flake off inside the tank. Also, it depends if it flakes off or if it penetrates and it explodes in tank. So it's a bunch of different ways how heat FS can work. So we're going to be on the losing team again, mainly versing Russians, which is, I mean, honestly, if you're not on the Russian team, you're not going to win much in this game, sadly. Unless you're on massive Hebrews. We're basically your massive German team. So trying to find someone to shoot at. We haven't had much action in today's video, and I really do apologize, guys. I'm really trying to get into the War Thunder stuff, because I really like playing this game. Just hoping you guys enjoy watching it. I know a lot of you guys on the channel watch different stuff, but it would be nice if you just click on the video and like the video, even if you ain't going to watch the entire thing, because it just helps the channel out and just helps the video out completely. Right now we have 423 subs. I want to say thank you for that. I'm just wanting to say that if all 400 of you, or if even 10% of you, if even like 25 of you could click on each video and just like it, that makes the video rank so much higher in the search rankings. Therefore, it makes the video do better and get more people to see it. Therefore, it helps me have confidence in making videos. I like making them, but at the same time, I'm not going to make them if they don't get viewed, if that makes sense, because it's a big waste of time on my end. You know, spending an hour plus making a video, then an hour plus editing the video, all to just get, you know, I don't know, viewers that aren't interested. You know, I don't want that. I want, you know, everyone to be interested in what I'm making. So obviously right there, we did die. Well, this is a fabulous vehicle in the game. It just lacks in some of the departments that kind of make it not as great as it used to be now that volumetric is in, because it kind of didn't do real well to the armor of this vehicle. It helped the Russians out, obviously, but you know, most tanks, volumetric, if you don't know what that means, basically if a shell is 133 millimeters, it needs to be, you know, it calculates different than what, say, before. Before, if it was a pixel, like if it was like a little green spot like that, or like this right here, and you clicked, it would always go there, it would always penetrate, which would always result in something happening. As now, they've kind of made it so, you know, the armor can double lap over itself realistically, unlike, you know, in real life, like if there's like a little crack right there, if you shoot at it, obviously rounds are not going to be pinpoint accurate. But let's go ahead and get to the overall review of the tank. Tank is fabulous. It's an amazing vehicle in the game. I totally recommend that you grind the the German tech tree and get to here. Now it will be a little bit frustrating, especially when you are basically at these ranks, because these are very weak tanks and a good anti-air, but very weak tanks. And you don't get a decent one to here, so you kind of have a pretty long grind of grinding through the game for a few weeks until you get to here. And once you get to here, you know, to the 2A5, you kind of can rely on your armor a little bit. Now that the 2A6 is in game, obviously arcade's not going to be that reliable, but keep in mind that you do have a good reload with an ace cruise, like 6 seconds. So I mean, you do have a pretty good reload, and you know that obviously goes up, I think, to 50. It may go up to 60 something, I think, with an ace crew, and I don't have an ace crew, by the way. And obviously in arcade you're going to have higher horsepower. Let me see how much it adds in arcade. Let me see if it tells me. Adds 225 horsepower, so 225 horsepower would basically make it go, I think, a little bit. Its power to weight ratio would go up by about 4 or 5, I think. So keep that in mind. All in all, the vehicle is very good. If we can get some likes on this video, I'll be glad to make more War Thunder content. Sorry, struggling there. As I really do like making videos. I just wish you guys would click on the video, even if you don't really like the video. You know, just, you know, spread the word. To post, if you can, put it in the comments. You know, just like the video. I mean, because it just helps get the video ranked out there, which is basically how you got all those other videos, the War of the Worlds and stuff, out there, because you massively liked it, and you basically click sub, you liked the video, and you watched it for at least a good 30 to 40 seconds plus, which therefore makes it rank in the YouTube algorithm. So if you don't watch the video, YouTube thinks the video is not any good, so they're not going to put it out. Not saying my videos are great, but I'm just saying that it would be really nice if you just watched it for 30 seconds. You could literally just throw your phone aside, wait for 30 seconds to go by, and just turn your phone off, honestly. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.